guys, welcome to my channel, Tiffany from the Painter Phase A, and I'm here to encourage you to go and get creative and to help you as well. So paint along with me step by step. We're going to be doing this really cool abstract daisy today, and remember you can do it in any color, the same principles apply. So pick your color and let's go. Alright guys, so as normal, I have my palette with just my primary colors, so red, yellow, blue, black and white. For those of you who don't know, black and white are not really colors, but we use them to make colors lighter or darker. Alright, so you've got your colors, you need a cup with brushes and water, and then also a towel paper, and then of course your canvas that you're going to be painting on. Alright, so we're going to jump in, guys. I like to start off with a big brush, so I've just put it in the water and I've just dried it off on the towel paper. Acrylic paint, depending on the effect you're going for, but it doesn't always like a lot of water with the paint, so just be careful of that. Alright, so I'm just going to basically make myself a couple of guidelines. Okay, so we're gonna do the middle of the flower over here. Okay, so I'm not focusing on color or anything, I just sort of want to map it in. I'm gonna grab some more blue, and now I want to concentrate on my petals. Going this way. Okay, so these petals, with reference to the reference photo, are a little bit sharp on the edges. I go in and round them a little bit, but again, it's up to you, it's your preference. You can decide if you want them pointy or round, or if you want them to lie a little more to the right. It's really up to you what effect you're looking for. Right, so now I'm just grabbing some gray, so that's black and white mixed, and this is for the background. I actually did 3 layers of this background, but it's really up to you what kind of coverage you're looking for. I think I had too much water on my brush when I picked up the gray, so it didn't cover much, so I had to go in a few times. Alright, just filling in the center of the flower. I always like to cover up as much canvas as I can before getting into the detail, just to get the bigger picture of the painting. And then, as you know, I always say a painting is, you know, you build it up with layers, so it's just layer on layer on layer. Washed off my brush, dried it on the towel paper, and now I'm just adding some blue to my gray and lightening it up with a bit of white, and I'm just going to paint each petal. This is the base coat. Again, just covering up the canvas, getting the bigger picture, altering the shape. As you guys saw earlier with the center of the flower, I was adjusting it a bit, and that's a great time to decide, okay, I want it a bit rounder, I want it a little bit, it needs to come out a little more, it's too small. And the same thing with your petals, you decide, are they round enough, are they lying in the correct direction, do I like them as they are? So that's all the kinds of things that we do with the base coat. And here I'm just explaining a little more about the shape, so just pay attention to your shape. It sort of comes out narrow, it has a bit of a tummy, and then it has a round, narrow end again. Okay, washing off my brush, grabbing some more gray. I'm going to be doing the second layer of my background. Decided to go a bit lighter, so just filling that in. It's better to have the background done before you do the flower. That way you don't go over the background, you know, you don't go over your flower with the background. Okay, and doing a second layer in the center of the flower, just lightening it up a bit. So throughout this painting, you guys will see me sort of back and forthing with the center, with the petals. You just keep experimenting and sort of playing with the colors until you get what you like. So here I'm just adding a bit of gray into my petals. I do like the gray coming through. You'll also notice that the blue that I've used in this flower that I'm painting is different to the blue in the reference photo. It's just because I had different paint from a different supplier, and that's why they look different. So yes, your blue will also look very different to mine. So yeah, so I went in with the grey, and then I've added in a bit of white, and I've added in some blue. So just now you'll see me again, like I say, back and forth the whole time between that range of colors until I get the effect that I like. So that's all it's about. And then with the white, having that crisp white, the secret there is to not blend your colors too much. That's really, really important. So here again, it's sort of just mapping out the idea, getting closer to the final part of the painting, which is the detail. So this is sort of just like a base coat or a foundation layer for the detail. Oh, and there I said when you bring in the different colors, you just make sure that you go with the petal, with the shape of the petal. So if it's rounding, you want to bring in those colors in a rounded motion. Okay, in the center I use a crisscross type of technique there, just to implement some texture. The paint was rather wet, so the colors didn't really come through the way I wanted them to, so I had to wait for it to dry a little bit after that. Just added in some black, some grey, some blue. Adding in some white and blue again. Okay, so I'm mixing some grey again, so that's just some black and white, and just filling in the final layer of the background. Remember, you can make the background any color you'd like. It also doesn't have to be smooth. You can add some texture to it, make it interesting. And I'd also like to just put your mind at ease. Every painting has an ugly phase. If you don't ever have an ugly phase in your painting, you're really lucky, but most paintings have an ugly phase. So just push through, trust the process. It does all come together in the end. As you can see, I'm adding in some black here now, feeling very bold. And just have a look at the areas where I am bringing in the black. Again, we don't like saying that we outline an object, but here I am just sort of defining each petal. So going around the edges of the petal, and then also the bottom of the petal closest to the center of the flower, because that center is sort of standing out a little bit and it's casting a shadow on the petals. So you will see again that I jump between black and blue and white in these petals and some gray, until I really get the effect that I like. This is such an easy painting. It's such a nice sort of playful painting to do, and you really can't go wrong with this one. Like I say, just don't expect to get the effect that you want in one go. Just keep playing, keep adding colors until you get the effect that you like. So here you can see I'm blending with my finger. Feel free to do that. It's awesome. It feels good, and it really does help with the effect. Okay, so now we're going into the center. It's a little bit drier, so hopefully I get the effect now that I'm wanting. I'm just adding in black. It is mixing with the other colors, but that's fine. So it's becoming a dark gray. And then as you guys can see, the center of the flower has a lighter section and a darker section. That just sort of gives a definition and a bit of
so I thought I'd bring you a little
shape
closer.
and form, so it's not as flat. Yes. You know, having one color, it would be super flat.
Okay, I'll bring you a little closer, and
yeah, like it is now actually. But just now I do bring in some light, and I have a distinct light and dark area of that center. Just cleaning off my brush. And here I'm just explaining about the dark and the light section of the center of the flower. Grabbing some white and some black, making a gray. I haven't mixed the gray a lot on the palette. I want those different lines to come through on the painting. So again, here I'm just going in all kinds of directions with brush strokes. It makes it interesting. So yeah, just experiment here and see what you like. What's nice is when the paint is wet, you can really change the direction of the stroke and just sort of push the paint around, which is really nice. So the center of the flower is now gray, and I'm bringing in some black for the darker area of the center. Just wiping off the excess paint and going in with some white. This is for the lighter area of the center of the flower. And again, if you want crisp white, be careful, don't blend in your colors too much, because that's when you lose that crisp white color that you're looking for. And I'm just adding in some more black around the center of the flower to help it stand out a bit more. And going forward, there's going to be a lot of back and forth now with the colors. So it's firstly focusing on that dark black around the center of the flower, and then I'll be going in with the petals with the different colors, just the blue, the white and the black. hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you are, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It really helps my channel grow. Also share it with a friend if you think they'd enjoy it, and please leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know how it was, and if you completed this painting with me, send me a photo. I'd love to see your finished painting, and also let me know of your experience, and if you have any suggestions or recommendations, or if you'd like me to explain anything more in any upcoming videos, yeah, let me know in the comments. And if there's a specific painting you'd like me to do with you guys, drop that in the comments as well. Alright, so just adding in some blue here, and then white, and now I'm just going to add and subtract colors until I get the effect that I want. But see how that crisp white just makes such a huge difference in that petal. It just really makes it pop. But you need that white playing off against the darker colors, the blues and the blacks. You can also make your center of your flowers texture a lot finer if you like it that way, or bold and big like I've done. It's really up to you. Like I say, this is just a guideline. You can let creativity take over and just change it the way you want, and make it unique, make it your own. So this is also a really nice painting for you to do quite a bit with. You could do another one that sort of is just on the opposite side, if I could explain it like that, and when you hang them on the wall, they're sort of facing each other, forming half of the flower. Or you guys could do 4, and then, you know, when you hang them and put them sort of together, they form one flower. Just my suggestion with that would be to trace it out before you start painting. You know, put all 4 canvases together and draw your flower on there, and then paint them separately and then put them up. And it's really nice if you have 4 friends, get them together, you know, draw the flower on the canvases and have each one paint a canvas, and when you put it up, you have something special of them. If not friends, then family or even your kids. I really think it's an awesome exercise to do with them, and this is such a light-hearted painting. It's so easy. It's abstract, so that means, you know, you can really make it and do what you want to do with it. And yeah, there's no real lines or yeses or nos or wrongs or rights. You just keep experimenting and playing and building onto this daisy, and yeah, just trust the process. It all comes together. So you will have seen that I've shifted from the big brush to the smaller brush just for a little more detail, or finer detail at least. And you can see there I'm working the black into the blue. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I don't like solid cut off lines, and that black is looking like it's cutting off my flower, and you want it to blend because it's a shadow, so it's not really, you know, a color that should end, how can I say, it shouldn't end sharp, you know, it should blend into the other colors. So yeah, and as I said before, here I'm just adding in colors, adding in blue, adding in black, playing with the white strokes, and really just working on that detail of the flower. We're nearly done, we're almost there. It's just the final detail now. Blending with my finger a little bit. Okay, and because the daisy is abstract and we're not going for a super smooth look, I'm going to just roughen up the edges of the petals. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just think it adds to the sort of abstract look, so I really like that. And you can do this as like aggressively or as conservative as you'd like to. Yeah, and I think now is the fun part where we get to do some splashing soon. Just adding a little bit more black in. I painted a lot of it away. So yeah, this is a good time to step away from your painting and make sure there's nothing else you want to add. If there is something else, it's a good time to add it now before we splash and make our daisy a little more abstract. It's amazing the difference that little bit of extra black does. It just defines the daisy so much more. Alright guys, the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to have some splish splash and fun. So I've just added some water to my colors, and I am just using my index finger to pull the bristles back and make some beautiful splash marks over the flower. You can decide how much or how little of it you want. You can also be quite how can I say, aggressive with your splats, and once your brush is loaded, you can actually just sort of throw the paint onto your canvas. I did do that a little later on in this video, you'll see, but for now I've just made small splashes. What's important here is all paints are different consistencies, so if you have a really thick paint, you might need to add a bit more water. If you have a really thin paint, you might not need to add any water, so it's really up to you. So here I'm throwing the paint, if that is something you'd want to do. I'm not 100% sure if I like that sort of line splash, but it's there and I'm gonna embrace it and just make the best of it. But I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe this video.